All right. Hello and welcome to the newest episode of the New Year Six podcast. Continuing again with our week one preview prediction videos. This time we are heading to the swamp. The game I'll be watching, obviously, rooting for my Gators. So Miami, in-state rival, heads to town. First time they've played in Gainesville since 2008, I want to say, where they got they got killed in that game. They played a neutral site in 2019. Florida won that one as well. So been a little bit since those two teams have played each other. Looking forward to this matchup, up in Gainesville this weekend, and the great uninterrupted 3:30 time. So this is going to be the key game of that slot for sure. So just going to go team by team. Give you my thoughts, keys to the game, everything like that. And we're going to start on the road. So we'll kick it off with Miami. What is it going to take for Miami to win this game? They are the favorites by about 2.5 points. What's it going to take for them to win? They got to go into the swamp as a ranked squad. How do they get it done? So if I'm Miami, this is the Cam Ward era. Cam Ward comes in as their quarterback now, transfers in from Washington State. So very pass-heavy offense over there when they run air raid. Miami is going to be running a traditional spread pro style, so going to be a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of change for him. Is he ready to step up, though? One of the things we've heard about Miami for all these years is insert quarterback here is going to be the next big thing. And as far as I'm concerned, the last 10 or so years, none of those quarterbacks have lived up to the expectations. Tyler Van Dyke is now up in Wisconsin because he didn't live up to it. I got to think back. Who was it who came in from Houston? D.R. King? He didn't live up to the hype. I got to go back to maybe Ja'Cory Harris, a decade ago at this point, for someone who even remotely got up to that level. So the message, if I'm Miami, is Cam Ward going to supersede the ones that came before? Time's going to tell. The Miami quarterback situation has been a problem for quite some time. Just either average or good enough, but never spectacular. Is Cam Ward that guy? I think Cam Ward is a very talented quarterback. I look at his time back in Incarnate Word as kind of setting the pace, as someone who can air it out if needed. Now, I think if you're a Miami fan, you look at those numbers, but there is a level of context you need to look at them through, which is, are they good because Cam Ward is good, or are they good just because they throw 40, 50 times a game? And if you're doing that in Miami, it means you're probably losing. So, especially with the way this offense is set up. So I would expect Cam Ward's numbers to take a step back because the team is more well-rounded. So is Cam Ward ready to play more field general, game manager type ball on a team that can run the ball, that can open up the spread a little bit more compared to his past teams where he would chuck it downfield every other play or back-to-back plays. So I'm expecting less passing, but with a potentially more competent quarterback. How does that look for Cam Ward, and is he the guy that Miami needs to win this game? And is he the guy that Miami needs to win the ACC, something they have never done in their school's history? But other than that, we take a look at what they've done well in the past. Obviously, the talent of this team is the run defense. Last year, Miami ended up with the number 11 overall rushing defense. That's going to need to step up for Miami this year, and this game in particular. Florida's running attack last year was below average. They ended as the number 77 running attack in the country. So it's going to be a tough day for those running backs to establish anything going up against this run defense. If Miami steps up to that plate and has a borderline top 10 run defense, they should limit Florida's offensive opportunities, and they should put themselves in a spot where Florida's going to have to revert to other parts of their playbook. I know they want to be able to run the ball. It's going to be a matter of can they run the ball. Miami's run defense is no joke. And if it shows up at the force that they've displayed last year, it's going to help them on their path to winning this game. Where Miami has struggled is in the red zone on defense. So outside the top 100 in red zone defense last year, that has to be better for Miami if they want to win this game. If Florida gets inside the 20 and scores every single time, Miami's going to have a mountain to climb. Yeah, but if Miami gets some key stops in the red zone, gets a takeaway, does something spectacular that they weren't able to do last year, they get it done this year, Miami should roll with this one. So if that red zone defense even steps up to average, if they end up as a top 60 to 70, they should be good enough to beat Florida on the road. They should be able to, be in a position to win their conference, go to a conference championship game, potentially make the playoffs, everything along those lines. But that red zone defense has held them back. Is it going to hold them back again this year, or is it a combination of that top end run defense, that decent pass defense coming together in a small space and stepping up? Time will tell, but that's what's going to happen. Those things need to happen for Miami to win this one in a tough environment this week. So now we'll head over to Florida. So what are their keys to the game? So Florida has had some additions to the portal this offseason, mainly on the defensive side of the ball. So defense was not Florida's strong suit last year. They were a run defense that ended up 79th in the country, so not great. They were a pass defense that ended up 70th in the country. So that needs to be better, especially with the slate of schedule that Florida has over these next 12 weeks. So I want to see the impact that those guys make, mainly Joey Slackman coming in from Penn, the former Ivy League Player of the Year on defense. He's going to be starting at defensive tackle for Florida. Is he going to step up immediately and make a difference? I'm looking at Pup Howard at linebacker coming in from South Carolina. Is he going to be one of those key linebackers next to Shamar James and TJ Searcy? Is Pup going to make the impact that Florida needs him to make? I'm really looking at, knowing that it's a 3-3-5 setup and you have impact players coming in potentially in two of those position groups. Those are the two I really want to hone in on if I'm Florida. Is Grayson Howard or Pup Howard, however you want to call him, is he going to be the linebacker that you pair up with Shamar? And is Joey Slackman going to be the guy on the line that makes the impact that you need to be successful in every position group this upcoming year? Time will tell. You've got to imagine one of them steps up, but if both of them can step up, it's going to be a world of difference for Florida this week and beyond. In terms of Florida, what Florida does well, just continue to slow the game down and keep the ball in your offense's hands. Florida finished last year top 10 in time of possession over the course of the season. So it means it's a slow, methodical, spread out offense, right? If we look at what Florida runs, it's a traditional spread option, and it's a matter of getting small chunks on offense, right? 3 to 4 yards of play, and moving the ball downfield however you can, right? Short passes and runs. That's Florida's bread and butter. And if that continues to be the case this upcoming week and they slow the game down, it's going to prevent Miami from getting scoring opportunities. If I'm Florida, here's what I want. Opening drive, I want the ball first. The crowd's going to be on my side. I want the ball, and I want like an 8-minute offensive drive and a score. I don't want to go out there and score instantly and get the crowd into it. I want a slow, methodical build. And then when Miami gets the ball, the crowd will be into it. Can Miami respond? We will see. But I want to, I want to show Miami that I'm going to carve up your defense, slowly, and I'm going to do it and bleed this clock out, and I'm going to give you less opportunities to respond. If Florida is going to do that, they can pull the upset off. But the main thing that needs to happen is you need to protect Graham Mertz. That offensive line last year was terrible. They finished 114th in sacks allowed last year. Now, Is part of that because Graham Mertz is largely immobile in the pocket? Technically, yes. Is a lot of it because the protection collapsed pretty instantly? Also, yes. So if the offensive line takes a step in the right direction, based on what I've heard at camp, it is going to be better. I don't think they're going to be world beaters. I think they get to an average performance on the line in terms of the rest of college football, and that may be enough to take down Miami and some of these other tough teams that they have lined up on the schedule. You can't finish 114th again this year, not with two offensive line coaches. But if you finish top 70, top 60 in sacks allowed, how many more opportunities does that give Graham Mertz? How many more completions does that give him? How many more downfield shots does that give Florida that they didn't have last year? And my understanding is that the left side of that line is locked in. The combination of Austin Barber, Kanaji Harris, and Jake Slaughter, those three are locked and loaded. The other two spots, that right guard, right tackle, my understanding are still a little bit up in the air. Don't love to hear that 4 days before the game, but if that offensive line takes a step up, you got a couple of returning pieces there, and if they improve and they get better, and they offer protection for Graham Mertz against, again, a tough run defense and a tough defensive line from Miami. If the O-line wins that battle, Florida wins this game. So with that, I'll get you to my preview prediction. My final score here, my final prediction on the line. So Miami is the favorite. They're about a 2.5-point favorite from what I've seen. But with that, I think the Swamp, the Swamp plays an advantage. The Swamp is not friendly to outsiders. So got to take that into consideration as well. And with that, I'm going to take Florida to win this one. Florida in an upset. Again, this is a computerized score, 29-26. Funny enough, that is the exact score that Florida beat Utah by in 2022 at home. So it's not impossible to see this number. We've seen it before. And I expect it to be a tight one. I expect it to be an aggressive one, loud one, feisty one, and ultimately a toxic one for every fan base involved. But I think Florida at home takes this one. If this was a neutral site, I'd still take Florida, but it'd be probably like 28-27, just really, really close. If it was in Miami, I'd probably flip it to the Canes, but I'm going to take Florida at home, open up the season 1-0, and take a little bit of that pressure off Billy Napier, knowing everything that he's facing. And that's going to go all on Mario Cristobal. Like, oh my God, we can never win the big game. And that's going to be the case for any fan base that loses this. So that wraps up this prediction. Where am I wrong? I know the Miami fans out there are going to be blasting me already. So just comment below what you think it is. Give me a ridiculous score. I've seen all your comments, 45-10, 77-0. I've seen them all. So give me more of that in the comments, and we'll take it from there. But what are your keys to the game? What are your thoughts? Comment below, like, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next time. I'm going to move on to Notre Dame at Texas A&M. That'll be my next one. That'll be coming out in a little bit. But until then, we are a few days away from kickoff. Really looking forward to this weekend. Everyone's playing. Like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next time. Definitely appreciate it.